Chakrabarti from the Taxpayers Alliance. It's just bribery, isn't it, Una?
No, it's not. I think it's a really good idea if it gets these pregnant women to quit smoking. Smoking is very, very addictive. And the study shows that 23% of these women did quit, and they stayed off cigarettes for a year. 15% stayed off cigarettes. So I think that's fantastic.
So, dear, it could save a lot of money in the long run.
It just seems so morally reprehensible. So, of course, smoking is addictive, and it's a habit that is very difficult to kick. But it seems so perverse that the idea that some people would, the well-being of the child would not be enough of an incentive, but then if you wave a few vouchers at them, they would somehow be able to kick this addictive habit. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. And where do we stop? So what about breastfeeding mothers? You know, is this sustainable? What about toddlers? You know, people with toddlers at home. What about truants? You know, are we going to bribe them with vouchers as well? Because that might work for some people.
There have been studies involving offering rewards to women to breastfeed, which begs lots of other questions. But just coming back to this, it's not as clear-cut, is it, as you well know, as just waving vouchers under their nose, as if that's incentive enough. There's counselling involved. It's £50 a time for certain shops, like Mothercare, etc.
And I'm glad you bring that up. £50 a time, even if you don't actually kick the habit. You actually get a bit of money just for turning up for these things. And if we talk about success rates, 85% of the time it just didn't work. You know, so it's not really fantastic statistics either. And like I said, where do you draw the line? If you gave me a bit of money, Matt, I might eat a bit more salad for a little bit longer. Is that sustainable? Where do you draw the line?
Una, Claire Wetton on Facebook echoes what Dee is saying there. Putting the life of their child at risk isn't enough of an incentive, then nothing is. And Tracy Joanne Richards says a better idea would be to give them a fine if they don't give up. So maybe this is too much carrot and there isn't enough stick.
Well, I think we have to put it in the context that the NHS is in crisis, and this is costing the NHS £87.5 million that could be spent on cancer treatments, on other treatments. We're talking about 5,000 babies who are dying in the womb or dying shortly thereafter. These are innocent, poor babies.
So this is a desperate measure, you think?
It's a desperate measure, and it's proven to have worked. It is working. 23% are quitting.
That's the thing, dear. Surely the ends justify the means here.
But does it, though? I mean, like I said, 85% of the time it just didn't work. And I'm glad that you bring up this, you know, the financial crisis as well. This money could be so much better spent elsewhere. MRI, you know, scanners, CT scanners, doctors, nurses. This is a completely bonkers scheme. Surely anybody can see that. There's a very serious moral point there as well. Are we not sending out the wrong message to young, say young mothers? You know, what about those people who have never smoked and therefore they don't smoke while they're pregnant? They would be seeing that their friends who do smoke are getting these vouchers.
But they're not going to they're not going to then take up smoking.
No, they might not.
So they can give up again, are they?
No, but is that the right message that we want to send out to our young people?
Last word from you, Una. I mean, this isn't the only example of this kind of incentive. I mean, there's incentives for school pupils in Ayrshire to earn points for eating healthily in West London. They get an HMV voucher for having an STI test. Do you think it is a bit immoral to do this, or do you think that it really justifies things if it works?
It's immoral if we give people cash. We're giving shopping vouchers, and the NHS can go into partnership with department stores and supermarkets so they can purchase discounted vouchers. I think, as you said, the ends justify the means. When we're talking about human lives, we're talking about babies, we're talking about the risks to children when they grow up in a household where parents smoke and they develop asthma. We're talking about cot death. I mean, these are horrendous things that happen when mothers smoke. And a lot of these mothers, many do want to quit, and they do try, and they've tried everything. And if this works, I'm all for it, because at the end of the day, we're just talking about shopping vouchers versus human lives.
The only way it would
Dear,
work.
we're out of time, I'm afraid. I'm so sorry.
Education has to be the only way, really.
Thank you both very much indeed.
Thank you.
Still to come.